Yep. Well, I am doing the rest of my my body scrub on this thing. I'm using a respirator and goggles. Goggles fogged up. These things are pretty clogged up. Watch this. And look at the stuff in the air. It is just prodigious. This isn't just dust and paint. This is a lot of bondo. And I don't know why, but at some point, this entire car received a very light skim of bondo. I've seen some of these TV shows on like the Speed Channel or whatever, and entire car gets stripped and dipped and renovated, new engine all in 1 hour, etc., etc. And the thing that strikes me is after a car gets completely stripped down, like what I'm doing here, whether it's sandblasted or whatnot, and they crow about what a great job they did, and the doors are all straight and blah blah blah, and then they put a light coat of bondo over the entire car, and I don't know, and then they skim coat it, and then they block it out, and blah blah blah. I don't know why. I don't know if it's an added protective measure. I don't know if it's an issue with making it ding proof. I don't know, making the metal more pliable, the paint job more pliable. But I don't know. I had in some cases a good 1/8 of an inch thick bondo, and you can tell here. I've got some dips in here. You can see kind of this area here. Probably circle it with a marker or something. A little bit of hole there. That's easy to fix. I can't see that until I get the camera in there. I'll probably put a weld bead in there and close that out. Maybe some tiger hair. And I had some really, really thick bondo over in here, starting here and working its way down into a big bump. Why, I don't know, because at this point here, I've not gone down too far into these divots. These are where there's been some issue. There's no rust there. It's just somebody hit something, or I don't know, something. But and when I feel in the back, I can definitely feel some areas in there. Let me see if I can get this thing. Right, I wanted to have a light there. These are the areas that I've shown before where there is some deformation. Not bad. Certainly not all throughout here where there was a lot of bondo. And the job wasn't bad. I mean, prior, when there was a good 1/8 inch of stuff out here, I'm talking out here, the job wasn't badly done. It's just real thick. I can't understand why. So, you can see quite the, good Lord, quite the snowstorm. But the entire car is covered in this light coat of bondo. I don't get it. I don't understand why. Got some areas I gotta redo, but yeah, there's some right there. And you can see into here. Let me see if I can get some of this down. Damn, right in the nose. Here's an example. Not a real thick coat of bondo, but again, there is some there. And this seems to be on top of the red paint. This car was originally red before it was white. On top of the red paint, and why I know not. Maybe to cover cracks in the red paint. I don't know. And I'll need to do some research. This, I know what this is for and what this is for. But this, and I think I got the mirror on the other side, need to be very carefully ground out. I'll probably get a wire wheel onto these areas here. These two here. My goal is to eat in a few minutes and then just finish off the forward portion of the car well enough to put some more etching fluid onto it and not have to worry about rust. I've talked in the past about priming this thing, then doing all the body filling and all the divot smoothing, etc., etc., and then priming over those areas. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is, that's a good way to save yourself from rust if you're outside or you've got issues with moisture. I don't here. My intention is to put the etching fluid down, protect my metal that way, then do all of the filling and everything else and then priming, and then surface priming and sealing and all that other shit at a different point. So, jeez, it actually goes quick. It's not. You know, I've given that. Yeah, I need to take that out. Given that I took a lot of this stuff down with that stripper, and it's weakened this stuff. It's actually come up pretty quickly. This so far has taken me about an hour, if that. So, you know, like I say, I do have some other stuff to get done, but you know, the perfection of this is where I'll spend. Whoops! This is where I'll spend a lot of my time. Getting all this stuff perfect and nicely laid out and smoothed out. Otherwise, the paint job will be just shite. And not that it's time for this yet, but I'm gonna blow some of this stuff down just to get it out of the garage while it's still a little bit warm outside. And I thought I'd show you. I'm gonna pause, put my earplugs in. Fuck. Done. Front half. I've not only flapper disked but wire wheeled all of this, so I've got as smooth and as bondo free an area as I could ever want. Some stuff to refill, and definitely I have a lot of body work ahead of me. I definitely do. This surface here doesn't look too bad. But I've got a few, maybe that's why it's so thick. It was so, I shouldn't say wavy here. Let's see. No, it's all good through here. And then it starts getting a little bit bumpy-ish down through here. And you can see a little bit, that's actually rust. So this is a good reason why it's always a good idea to, well, not always, but it's not necessarily a bad idea to strip your car down to bare metal. This dark area here is that big strip of open rust when I got the car. And then I've got some areas in here that, you know, once I put that etching fluid on there, I won't have any issues with getting rid of rust. So I may go over this with a dual action sander one last time and make sure that all of the stuff that needs to come off is off. Again, some filling in there to do. A hole in there to fill. I didn't see that before I took off the bondo. And then whatever happened here, I'd imagine somebody just hit something probably here, and then it forces, you know, it kind of created a crease in there, because this is an almost nice and even hit. Maybe a bumper post or a, who knows, something in the road. But I've got some work on the seam here to do. Again, there's a little bit of a crease there. A little bit. Hell, it's pretty decent crease. At least right there. The rest of the body's not so bad. Some dip there. Some dipping here. That came out really nice. Need a sandblast on the interior though. A little bit of a bump in here. Any body guy will tell you that he's got a finely calibrated and tuned hand. Yeah, just whatever. Got some rust there to convert. That's not bad. I have a finely tuned hand. And I seem, oh yeah, there's some bumpies in there, some wavies in there, so I'll have to, you can almost, well, maybe you can see it. Yeah, right there in the reflection. Some of that because some of it's smooth, and there's a definite wave there. Not bad, but just right quick, as this etching fluid kind of evaporates and leaves behind a residue or whatever, it's gonna get a little bit sticky. Yeah, it feels like grease almost, like off your oven range. But prior to me doing anything with primer on this thing, I'm going to give this thing a good hose down and get rid of all the anything really. So I've got this left. This is probably another evening's job. I'll do that tomorrow. Definitely easier to get to. Got a little, well, maybe not. This will actually be easier for me to finish off. This brown is what's left of, you know, whatever was there before. So I won't have a lot to remove like I did up here. Actually, I could, that's 8 o'clock. No, I need to take a shower. I say I could probably, yeah. I did stripper after stripper after stripper layer, probably did 4 stripper layers here. So getting this stuff down to nice and free bare metal won't be tough in the least. Yeah, this isn't going to be tough. Once this comes off, I can get the stuff up in there. The body's already, I mean, hell, even when I took the body off, my cross braces were nice and loose, so my body never gave at all. Let's see what I got here. This one I tightened up, but there's a good gap there, you can see. And in other words, the body didn't flex. You know, if it flexed, you wouldn't have this that gap in there. So I'm very happy about that. It wasn't tight when I took off the body. So I mean, that's the point. So I had that filled in before. I'm going to probably weldify and fill in with actual metal in here. Nothing more than for strict structural stiffness. It's not by any means. No, it's not at all weakened, but you know, get some metal up in there, some weld up in there. That's easy. I don't have the welder for it. So, yeah, not bad at all.